Hi, everyone. Welcome. I want to first start off by just checking in with everyone. Now that July is coming to a close and we've been in quarantine, some places more strict than others, for a while now overall, and just the heavy energetic feel of a society that we may feel from time to time. It's important to just check in and just to see how everyone's doing. So I would love if any of you guys listening would DM me and just tell me how you're doing, and just know that it's important to take it day by day and give yourself some patience. So actually, in this episode, I want to kind of share some tips and some suggestions of maybe breaking up some of the stagnant energy that you may experience, and some of you may not. You might be doing really well with it, but sometimes it'll come up from time to time in ways to move that energy to kind of get back into the flow and to be feeling your best. So, like I said, I wanted to start off by just seeing how you guys are feeling. Personally, I've been back in Los Angeles for a little over a month now, and I feel like adjusting back here was almost harder than adjusting back when I was home and quarantine first started. I think when I came back here, with so much stuff going on and so much options here in Los Angeles, it's hard to kind of understand that, you can't do all of this stuff that's going on. So I've been having to find some ways to shift the energy within inside myself, and that's what I want to share with you guys today. So first off, with energy, finding out how to move any stuck or stagnant energy is a way that will help you to feel more balanced, more aligned, more in tune, and more present. And there are two different ways that you might have your energy stuck or feeling heavy. So one of the ways is if you picked up someone else's energy. So energy has been the basis for basically all of my inspiration for this podcast and everything that I've been studying and working with the last few years. So when we're in our own energy field, we are optimum. We are living our best life because we're not influenced by anyone else's energy per se. So let's say you are waking up and you're going on a trip with someone and you're in a car for a while, and your friend or whoever you're traveling with is just being very negative, and you can tell that maybe certain things are coming up with you, maybe past things that you think you moved through, or you just start to notice that your mood changed. So in that, you're inevitably picking up someone else's energy, especially being in such a close proximity to this other person, with them being in a car with you. So that's one example, is just picking up someone else's energy. So like I said before in a previous podcast, we have an energetic field. So whether we are texting someone or someone's physically standing close to us, we are more than likely, inevitably going to pick it up. Now, our responsibility at this point is knowing how to move through that energy and to release it and to not let it stick to us. So that's more of a short-term energy. The second example is stored energy. So a lot of times we store childhood trauma is energy within the body. We store maybe a past relationship or something traumatic that has happened in your past, or maybe even limiting beliefs, something that you believed when you were younger, or something that just hurt you really bad, and it's been stored as energy within your body. So all of this long-term energy can be triggered and it can come up. So in times like this, where energy can feel heavier at times, a lot of old energy can be brought to the surface, and a lot of times we won't know where it's coming from, because we'll be having a great day and something happens and it triggers you, and you have all of this old stuff resurfacing, and it could cause more anxiety, it could cause a deeper depression. So the first and most important thing is noticing when something comes up, whether you know that it's not yours or you know that it may have been yours and it's something that is resurfacing after a long time. So when you notice that you're having maybe an episode or someone else's energy has negatively impacted you, this is where you need to shift or move this energy so it doesn't stay in your energetic body. And by first acknowledging which energy is yours and which energy is someone else's, then you can efficiently move the energy out of your space. If it isn't your energy, you can find ways to release it, to let it go. And that's something that's so important too, knowing when you are in your own energy or if someone else's energy has affected your space. So no matter what energy it is, I want you guys to ask yourself some questions to kind of take inventory with the energy that you might have around you currently. So we're going to look at your physical space, your emotional space, and your spiritual space. So first, by taking a look at your physical space, analyze the room that you're in, what your bedroom looks like right now, what your kitchen looks like right now. How are you keeping your space? However we choose to keep our space is a reflection of what's going on internally. So if we have a messy room and there's just stuff everywhere and we don't really take care of what we have, if we're not taking pride in getting dressed every day, then it shows that we're dealing with a lot internally as well. So that's interesting to kind of look at, to see, because more often than not, if there's a lot going on inside, we're reflecting it in our physical space. So take a look at your emotional space. Are you suppressing any emotions that might have come up throughout this time? And if you are to any of these, don't feel guilty. Don't belittle yourself or be hard on yourself. But it's important to understand and to move through all of this. So with this emotional space, are you suppressing any emotions, or are you letting them surface, not judging them, but accepting them for what they are and moving through them? That's the most important part. And also, whenever we have a clean space, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of these, we are inviting in all of the positive, high vibrational things that we want, that we're desiring at this point. Because if we are showing that we're not respecting the space that we have, whether, like I said, it's physically or it's not of this dimension, if it's emotionally, all of this other stuff, then we're showing that we don't respect the space that we have, that we're taking ownership of. So if we're not respecting our space, then why should we be given more? Why should we be given the things that we desire? So by taking pride in our space and by owning our space and treating it with love and gratitude for what we have, we can call in and we can invite everything more that we desire. So with the emotional space, just to end on that one, fill it with emotion, whatever it is, and it will change from time to time, but realize the emotion when it comes up and label it as something. If anxiety is coming up and you label it as anxiety, and just know that it will pass. It's temporary. The third one is spiritual space. So this one is pretty interesting, and it can be tailored to your own personal desires. It's not necessarily religious. It doesn't have to be. It can be just some form of self-care, something that you're thankful for that you can incorporate into your daily routine. So make it special, make it, whether it's working out, whether it's yoga, whether it's eating a healthy meal, whether it's brewing your favorite tea and just sitting with your eyes closed for 5 minutes. This is your spiritual space. This is your space to connect with the universe, with God, with whatever it is that you believe in, whether it's nature, it could be anything, but make it self-care. Make it connect and resonate with your soul. Make it special to you. I want you to do this little activity with me. So I tried it for the first time yesterday. I came up with it, and it really helped to shift stuck energy. personally, for the last few weeks, I haven't been keeping up with astrology as much. I know Mercury was in retrograde through the end or the beginning of this month. It ended. So I don't know astrologically what's going on, but I could feel energy within spurts of maybe like 3 or 4 days being heavier certain times of the week and then lighter again, kind of easing up. And what has really helped me is kind of just going with the flow. So everyone's going through their own personal thing right now, and we don't know what that is. Everyone could be having a great day one day and then the next day really frustrated, really down. So we need to control our own space and take pride and take power in our own energetic field. And in doing so, we can help everyone else by showing up for ourselves. So with this next activity, I want us to list some adversities, some things that have come up in our life, whether it's the past 24 hours, whether it's the past week, or whether it's just things that are weighing on your mind. I want you to list those on the left side of your page, and then on the right side, the right column, we're going to list how we can transfer that energy into something positive, into something good. So I tried this for the first time yesterday. Like I said, I just randomly started writing, and I'm like a very visual person. I need to write it out, and in doing so, the action of writing also helps me kind of release. So one thing that has kind of affected my mood recently is next to my apartment building, they're putting up this huge 7-story apartment building. So it's blocked all of my natural light. So I've only been back for a little over a month in California, and I've noticed a huge change. So since there's so much less natural light, I just feel like it weighs on my mood a little bit more. So I listed that as my first obstacle. How can I move this energy efficiently? So I listed it as a dark room. How can I change that? I simply went outside. I know it seems very simple, but it made all the difference. As soon as I went outside, I felt so much better. I felt so much lighter. And with a lot of these things too, I want you to list them no matter if it's in your control or not, because knowing and writing it down that it isn't in your control at this point helps to let you release it. So the next point, for example, over quarantine, I was playing this game on my phone, and you log on, and I'm not one for playing phone games. I just don't really do it often, but you have to go on 30 days consistently to collect your prize once a day, and then on like the last day, the 30th day, you win this big prize. So I was like 6 hours away from claiming my last prize, and I completely forgot to log on that day. So the next morning I went on thinking that I would be fine, and then I realized I never logged on the day before, and I was like mad at myself. For like 30 seconds I was like mad, and then I took a step back and I looked at the big picture, and I was like, wait a second, there are way worse things going on right now than me being upset that I didn't claim my prize. And for those of you who are wondering, it was Neopets. For any of you who remember that, yeah, I went down a spiral of getting my password unlocked. Long story short, so I was logging in to collect my prize, and I was like, wait a second, I'm really that upset over not collecting 100,000 Neo points that I'm going to let this affect my mood? So I took a step back, and I was like, the big picture is that this does not matter. This is not going to affect my life. This doesn't take precedence over changing my mood. So I just let it go, and I felt so much better afterwards. So the third point that I came up with, so I know that I have to move energy physically in my body to feel better. So when I exercise, I do feel much better. So when I went outside, I left the darkness, I felt much better. I went to a local park that I go to, I stretched and I worked out, and that really helped to release any of the stuck energy that I had at that point. I also incorporated a run into the end of my workout, and I made it really fun too. So I found a new part of a neighborhood that I really like, and I made it more of the spiritual space that I was previously talking about. So I made it more of a ritual. I came up with an affirmation that I wanted to embody during my workout, and I set up my space. So I played music that I really was inspired by. And I encourage you to do the same. Maybe some music that is special to you, that resonates with you, and it could change. But set up your space for having a great workout, a great experience, which would lead to a great day. So, a couple other points I'll run through real quick of ways that I was able to transfer my energy. Like I said before, everyone's kind of going through something at this point, and by wondering what they're going through or pointing fingers isn't going to make it any better for you or for them. So really just giving them the space, letting them know that you're there if they need you for anything, to talk or to support them, but just giving them the space and knowing that, energy is really tough for everyone right now. So a couple of my friends are going through a couple things, and really acts of service at this time can make the biggest difference. If they know that you're there for them emotionally by doing a small act of service, whether it's Venmoing them $5 for a coffee, or helping them get their mail or something, it could be anything, makes the biggest difference. So really just showing up for them in a way that lets them know that you're there and that things will get better. The last part is, I know there's been a lot of people struggling with loss right now, whether it's financial loss, whether it's losing family members, friends. Just really be grateful for everything that you do have. I always bring these conversations back to gratitude, because that really is the basis of all of this and transforming your life and your outlook and your perspective. It's really gratitude. So continue to count your blessings every day. In a previous post, I talk about my gratitude journal, and I highly encourage you to do that, to think of 3 different things that you're thankful for every day, incorporate 1 act of service, and 1 great thing that has happened to you within the last 24 hours. It really makes the biggest difference. I am going to start a 14-day challenge starting August 1st through August 14th, and I encourage you guys to join me. So whoever's interested, I would love to think of how you can make this your own and incorporate this into your lifestyle. But basically, I am creating this spiritual space that I talked about. So I'm going to share an affirmation every day on my Insta story, or if you guys follow me on Facebook, my Facebook story. I'm going to post a daily affirmation that I'm using and incorporate that into my daily ritual. So I chose to do a jog. So it's this special jog. It is listening to a certain playlist that I made, and I am going up this certain street that just feels really magical for whatever reason. So I'm going to do this for 14 days. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to share my mantra, my affirmation. And the whole purpose behind this, like I said, is to move any of this stuck energy, whether it's new or old, that may be showing up for any of you, and to really just embody this affirmation for the 24 hours. And each day is going to be different. I invite you to create your own if you resonate with that more, or use mine as well as something that you can use and incorporate it into this ritualistic experience that you create for yourself. It could be anything mindful. It doesn't have to be necessarily working out. It can be as simple of just taking your dog out on a walk and just closing your eyes for a couple seconds and just embodying that. But I really encourage you to create this space, and by doing it 14 days consistently, it creates more of a habit that you can incorporate into your life after, if you so choose. It really will make a huge difference. It will make a shift. And the one most important thing at the end of this, I want you to say thank you. After you finish this, after you finish whatever you do, say thank you out loud to the universe. By saying it out loud, it has more of an emphasis, more of an oomph, and you are showing gratitude, thankful for this experience that you were able to have. So thank you guys for listening. And like I said earlier, I truly do hope that you're doing well, and that I hope that I was able to help you in some way with giving you some tips to move some of this energy. And I really would love to hear how this has worked for you. And if it doesn't work, tell me some suggestions of things that I could help you out with. Even if you just have some questions, or just tell me how you're feeling. By acknowledging it and sharing it with someone, you are releasing it and you're letting it go. So thank you guys again. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you all soon.